Welcome back to The Explainer. Okay, let's just dive right into this incredibly raw and authentic audio diary. What we're looking at today isn't some polished textbook theory or a stiff clinical study. No, this is a real-time, completely unfiltered recording of a woman who is actively wrestling with her own mind. We're going to treat this deeply personal audio as a live case study because honestly, by analyzing her thought process, we can extract some absolutely crucial, profound lessons on emotional self-regulation. It's basically a masterclass in watching someone pull themselves out of a downward spiral, and I am so excited to break down exactly how she does it. Right off the bat, we hear this powerful, almost painful realization from her. She says, "Life goes on, my seconds will pass. The seconds are ticking." I mean, wow. You really have to empathize with her here. We've all been in that exact place, right? That place where our precious, finite time is just being completely hijacked by obsessive thoughts. She realizes in real time that she's literally wasting the actual seconds of her life ruminating on a situation she has zero control over. She's just so tired of visualizing arguments and chewing over the exact same details. So this quote right here, this is her breaking point. It's the moment she consciously decides, no way, I refuse to let my internal clock tick away to the rhythm of negativity. So that brings us to part one, the trap of uncertainty and navigating the mental loops of anxiety. Now, deciding to change your mindset and actually pulling it off are two entirely different things, aren't they? And this perfectly illustrates the internal battlefield she's fighting on. On one side, you've got this chaotic, cyclical internal monologue, the intrusive thoughts. She feels completely provoked by them. She describes all this anger, resentment, and this exhausting drive to analyze a situation that just won't resolve. It's the absolute agony of uncertainty, and it drains your mental battery. But then, look over at her desired reality. She desperately wants to inhabit this space of pure femininity, elegance, unconditional love, and kindness. She wants to be soft, peaceful, and genuinely herself without putting up walls or faking anything. So the tension of this entire audio diary is her real-time attempt to yank her brain away from those exhausting thoughts and plant it firmly in that peaceful reality. Which leads us to part two, managing anxiety through deadlines, using time boxing as a psychological tool. Okay, so how do you actually stop that chaotic anxiety from bleeding into your peace? Well, you hack your own psychology. Look at this specific strategy she uses. She takes a classic productivity technique, time boxing, and applies it directly to her emotional trauma. We start at point one, her current state of anxious observation. To break that cycle, she plans point two, a therapeutic trip. Even though it's just a few days away, it physically changes her environment to give her mind some breathing room. Then she does something absolutely brilliant at point three. She sets a hard deadline, mid-July. She literally tells herself that until that date, she is simply observing. She entirely removes the heavy pressure to figure it all out right this second. And point four, the final decision, that isn't allowed to happen until that mid-July deadline. It's like a game she plays to trick her brain into relaxing, boxing up the anxiety into a manageable time frame. And why does this time boxing trick work so well for her? Well, she tells us directly. I am an organized person. I love order, a plan, structure. It is important for me. By creating this timeline, she's throwing a lifeline to her own highly organized brain. You know, when you're dealing with deep uncertainty, your brain kind of panics because it can't predict the outcome. It just spins its wheels looking for a solution that isn't there yet. By giving herself a deadline, she reclaims control. She is quite literally structuring the chaos. She's essentially telling her anxiety, hey, we'll review this file on July 15th. Until then, it is safely filed away. Moving right along to part three, focus on self and body, and getting somatic feedback for mental clarity. But listen, a mental deadline isn't always enough to stop a full-on physiological panic response, right? Sometimes you need a physical anchor. And in the diary, she talks about something super surprising, a physical tool, the posture band, or as she describes it, just a simple elastic band for her back. She actually laughs about it, saying it sounds like nonsense, but she truly feels the universe sent it to her. Here's the key takeaway. That posture band acts as a somatic anchor. Whenever she feels herself slumping into depression or hunching over with anxiety, the band physically corrects her. That physical snap instantly pulls her out of those obsessive thought loops. It forces her to physically embody the strength she's trying to mentally achieve. She's grounding her racing mind directly into her body, using a tangible sensation to break an intangible thought. And keeping that physical posture directly reinforces her core identity. It's like upright shoulders mean an upright spirit. Her motto for the year is right here. Femininity, intelligence, elegance. By holding her physical posture, she's refusing the urge to shrink down, to fake her personality, or to play games just to make a bad situation work. It empowers her to stay true and authentic. She explicitly says she wants beautiful speech, beautiful thoughts, and to focus only on the important moments, completely rejecting the dirt and the nonsense of unnecessary drama. Her physical body is literally holding up her psychological boundaries. And finally, part 4, radical acceptance and gratitude, letting go of the uncontrollable. So once the mind is scheduled and the body is grounded, what's left? Well, it's about achieving true peace through active, borderline aggressive gratitude. Notice these daily anchor points she relies on: her own life, her loved ones, her daughter, even just the simple view from her window, her health, her home. She is actively neutralizing all that resentment over what she doesn't have by deliberately overwhelming her mind with a massive list of things she does have right in the present moment. Think about it. It is practically impossible for the human brain to feel deep resentment and deep gratitude at the exact same time. By flooding her brain with appreciation for her immediate reality, she's using gratitude as a literal shield against uncertainty. And having that shield allows her to reach this stunning conclusion. For everything else, it is God's will. I accept everything and let it go, observing from the outside. This is radical acceptance in a nutshell. She completely releases her white-knuckled grip on specific outcomes. If the universe brings her that unconditional romantic love she dreams of, fantastic. If not, she accepts that too. She chooses to simply observe the situation without attachment. It's like she's treating her own life as a movie she's watching rather than a crisis she has to immediately solve. She's no longer the victim of her circumstances. She has elevated herself to be the calm observer of her own journey. All right, let's boil this incredibly rich audio diary down into a highly actionable 3-step daily routine that any of us can use to regulate our own emotions starting today. Step 1, return to yourself in the present moment. Use a physical anchor. Fix your posture, feel your feet on the floor. Stop time traveling to the past or the future. Step 2, find something to be grateful for. Overwhelm your anxiety with deliberate present moment gratitude, even if it is just the view out your window. And step 3, savor the experience of your own existence. Just like she says, do everything consciously, calmly, and extract joy from your own genetic code, from the simple fact of being alive. This whole diary is just a beautiful, messy, and ultimately triumphant look at the human mind actively healing itself. We've seen how time boxing limits anxiety, how physical grounding redirects the brain, and how radical acceptance finally brings peace. So I want to leave you with one provocative question to chew on. How will you structure your own chaos today? Are you going to set a mental deadline? Are you going to straighten your posture? Or will you choose to simply observe and accept? Give it some thought. Try using these tools. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll chat you on the next one.